Hello and welcome back. Hello and welcome back. My name is James, and tonight we're going to be building the UCS X-Wing Lego set. So I have a couple of sets here with me. I have the UCS TIE Fighter, I have the UCS X-Wing from 2013. We'll be doing the comparison on this set to this set when we get done with our build. Now tonight is going to be part one of the build. So we're going to be building bags 1 through 5. There are 10 bags overall. And so it will be the fuselage and cockpit that we'll be building today. And then next week we will do the wings. So let's go ahead and dig in and get this guy going so we can start having a conversation about it. All right. Bags all out. Hope everybody's having a good day. Thanks for tuning in. It's the 1st of August. Did anybody go out and buy themselves anything new at the Lego store? Order themselves anything new online? Another one of those floating parts. Just love them. Gives them that good opportunity to get boggled around in the box and scratched up. All right, so like I said, we're doing bags 1 through 5, so we're just going to go ahead and keep those. The rest we'll toss back into the box. 8. Sticker, the placards are new this time around. This is the first time they've done a UCS where it was printed instead of being a sticker, which I, myself, and many others thank Lego for finally chipping in that extra few bucks and giving us a printed piece. Same with the cockpit. This time around, it's printed on instead of the sticker, which was on the last version. Anybody out there who built those, you know what I mean when I say, good Lord, that was a pain. All right, so there's 1 bag 5, 2 bag 4s, 2 bag 3s, 2 bag 2s, and 2 bag 1s. All right, so now that we've got all that filled out, we can go ahead and start pulling pieces. Now I've already got the instructions pulled up on my other computer monitor, as I always do that to save a little space. Especially with these larger sets, you can use all the space you can get. Check out the instruction booklet really quickly. It does come in a nice cardboard container to protect it, keep it from getting bent up. Still pretty standard instruction booklet. And the sticker sheet will be in that little cardboard container as well, protecting the owner's manual. I do remember getting the owner's manuals back in the day before they did that, and they were always bent, and they stayed bent in whatever weird shape and made them very complex to work with at times. So I do appreciate Lego making that change to the cardboard containers. Now, just start putting these things in bags or some kind of like little plastic or even paper containers to protect them from getting scratched up as they get shipped and bounced around in boxes. Nothing's worse than, getting your placard and it's all scratched up, scraped up from being moved around, scraped on the inside of the cardboard box. So Lego, save yourself people contacting you to send them new replacements because, we're not spending this much money for a scratched item. So increase in that quality control would be nice. So anybody else pick up the UCS X-Wing back when it came out? I waited a little while to get it before after it came out before I bought it. been getting a little more picky, choosier, trying to couple with like double points, or trying to couple with a better promo. Like this year's promos, gift with purchases, have they've been all right. I wouldn't say they've been the best. They definitely have done some recycling, but that could also be a fallout from COVID and, not really having the departments doing their thing like they normally do. So give them a bit of a pass this year. But if you pick up the X-Wing and what do you think? Do you think it's better than the one that came out in 2013? Do you think that the one that's out now is the definitive version? Let me know what you think in the comments. I love hearing feedback from everybody. I love having discussions about the sets. So hit me up on Instagram, DarthBricks42, same as the channel. Hit me up on the comment line, so we can have a discussion in the comments. Me and anybody else who wants to chime in. This is public forum basically. We all can discuss what we like and don't like. I remember when this set, the original set, came out back in 2013. It was, we're all very excited. I was working for Lego brand retail at the time. So we were very excited to build the set when it came in. It was a very popular set that was released for May 4th. Polybag promos back then for May 4th were usually just a minifigure of some type. Possibly, I don't remember the exact ones, but this might have been the Han Solo polybag from way back when. I don't think it was the Revan polybag, which the Revan polybag is one of the it's like the sought after, like, holy grails of minifigures as well. New sealed and in the box, or the polybag I should say, instead of box. But I remember when we caught those, like, we barely got any at our store, because they always would base how they did the promos. The promo quantities were always based on the previous year's popularity, and that always felt kind of odd, because, like, okay, the last year's is not very popular, or maybe it wasn't the greatest. Like, and one year they do Admiral Yularen, Wolf Yularen minifigure when he's old on the Death Star, and then next year they do something like Revan. It's like, okay, well, Yularen wasn't popular and they couldn't get rid of him. They had a way bigger amount, so they downsized, and then they come out with Revan. It's like, oh my God, Revan's going to be amazing. Everybody's going to love that. And then they barely put out a quantity where each store gets like 75. It's like, that is going to create the mass resale market that we see today and turn that figure into a very hard to find and very coveted figure, considering it's the first and only time they've ever done it. Does anybody have that Revan figure? Anybody have that in their collection? I have one. It is an open one, but I have it sealed in a Lego case that I built. But I do have that Revan figure still, back from all those years ago when I worked at Lego. Speaking of figures, rare figures. It was like my first couple of weeks being on the job, and my store manager, Kevin Hinkle, at the time, he gave me a whole bunch of minifigures and told me to go, like, do trivia with kids and give them out as prizes. I didn't really know much about it at that moment, as I had just started working there. I didn't realize how rare and exclusive things were at times. And came to find out I was giving away the Chrome Vader polybags to kids. And looking back on it now, it's another one of those coveted minifigures that's just, it's hard to find, it's hard to get. there were so few of them out there. They were just kind of given away. They weren't sold. So nowadays it's like, man, I wish I had any of those. I had one at one time, but I gave it to a friend of mine as a gift for Christmas. And I believe he still has it, and I believe he still has it in the bag. So I'm glad to believe that it's still poking around and in good hands. I do love the minifigures. I don't go like hog wild over them. I think they're great to offset the value of sets and make them a little more desirable. But I don't, stake my willingness to buy a set on there being minifigures, a certain minifigure style of minifigure, like that. I don't follow that kind of trend. I'm more interested in the set and what it is. Friend of mine, he never cared anything about the minifigures, and he'd get his sets and he'd trade minifigures away over time. And then as we all got older, of course, and we're valuing our collectibles and we're talking about them. It's like, collection's worth this, collection's worth that. And it's like, collection's worth this if you have all the minifigures. And he just was like, he's kicking himself now for trading away all the minifigures over the years. Feeling he should have probably just kept them instead, which, hindsight's 2020. Probably right, but it helped him get more Lego ships and sets. So ultimately, it is what it is. Is anybody else out there building anything? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you're building or if you're planning to build. Like I was saying about today being the 1st of August, a whole mess of sets got released today. A few Star Wars sets, Marvel sets, architecture, botanical line. If you're a VIP member, the new Corvette got released. Looks really good. That would be the C1 body style, the classic Corvette. I'm glad that they put it in the red and white scheme. I like everybody else who follow the leakers and people who talk about, previews of sets. I had heard that it was going to be like a yellow scheme, kind of like how they did the Fiat. And I was like, please God, no. I thought that would have been a terrible idea to make that set yellow. And it's like the classic red is what all collectors and all fans would recognize it as. So, and they did. So I didn't, obviously I'm not complaining, but I definitely would have looked at the set differently if it would have been yellow instead of the classic red. I picked up Yoda's Starfighter today. I had never picked up the original, so that was all I picked up today. Again, I'm kind of waiting to see if they come out with maybe a little bit of a better promo to pair it with. I want to get the shield. I want to get Cap's shield. I really like the Marvel props. Like I've got a full-size Captain America metal shield on the wall. That was the 75th anniversary edition that Hasbro put out some years back. Not the Disney one that you would see at Disney California Adventure or Disneyland. It doesn't have the sound box on the inside, which makes holding it very awkward. But absolutely love it. I've got Thor's hammer, of course, and then you can kind of see all my Iron Man stuff behind me. My Hot Toys Iron Man stuff, Tony's Mark I arc reactor. It sits in his holder. It says, proof that Tony Stark has a heart. We saw that on Endgame. We saw it in first Iron Man movie. So it looks fantastic still. Everything lights up. So if you're tuning in tonight, we're building the new 2023 UCS X-Wing, and if you could, please remember to like and subscribe for upcoming videos. I took the last couple of weeks off. Had some stuff going on in life, but back. I'm trying to make. I'm going to try and make Tuesdays my new normal stream date, and so you know when we're going live. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and set your notifications to whatever you want them to be. But I'm always happy to have people joining the stream, chit chat, have a good time, and talk about sets that they like or sets that they're interested in, or even rumors. Like if we want to talk about rumors, I was listening to the Rick Clicker video this afternoon. He was talking about all sorts of really interesting stuff for Star Wars next year, like the MIDI scale Falcon and MIDI scale Tantive V4. Talking about the fact that they're going to probably do a UCS TIE Interceptor for the MAVE launch next year, which I think would be absolutely awesome. I didn't get the original TIE Interceptor from back in 2000, but I have a friend who does have it, so I have seen it built numerous times. I like the mod one that I got. I did a modification version from the TIE Fighter. So you took this TIE Fighter, you changed out the fins with different pieces, obviously, and it turns into the TIE Interceptor, which is this one right here. So my hope is that LEGO will do a TIE Interceptor that is as good as this one, if not better, if they're looking to capture, some more money from me, of course. But thought I'd get that one down just to show it with, when I brought up the subject. But I think the TIE Interceptors are absolutely amazing. TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptors. It would have, it might have been cool to get the TIE Interceptor this year. It's the TIE Interceptor really making its introduction in Return of the Jedi. But it is what it is. I'm not a hardcore purist that has to have the sets come out. Like anniversary sets are nice, but they're not the end of the world if you don't get them out right. And I'd rather just get the sets, because if you think about it, if they were to do everything that they could for Return of the Jedi this year, we could have ended up with UCS X-Wing, a UCS Jabba's sail barge, a UCS TIE Interceptor. We could have ended up with a lot of sets. And it's like, the rumor mill online is still, it's pretty heavy on that. The set we're going to get, the UCS set we're going to get in a couple months, is going to be the Venator. All the sites that I see are still saying that. And if that's the case, it's going to be under $600 set. But that's a 20th anniversary of Clone Wars. So it's nice to see something besides the mainstream movies getting a little love. I can appreciate that. Did anybody see the images for the Coruscant gunship that came out today? Official pictures, I guess, came out today. I saw them on Brothers Brick. Looked really good. It's obviously a little bit smaller than the standard gunship, but that's all right. If you think about it, it's supposed to just kind of fly around Coruscant, so it being a slight difference, or maybe a slightly different model than the one that we would see going into battle, like on Geonosis and stuff. I understand that. And I like the color scheme. It really makes it pop a little bit more, instead of just kind of all being, white and maroon. It's heavily colored maroon or red instead of like all being all white. So it'll definitely stand out to the original unships better. Which I think is great, because then that also means that gives you a reason to buy, and it also gives people reasons to do fleet builds. Talk to my friend about that all the time. It's like, well, Millennium Falcon, you really just buy one, but you can buy numerous X-Wings, numerous gunships, numerous TIE fighters, but like, you're only going to buy one Razor Crest. You could buy as many AT-ATs as you want. So those are always cool to see people do the fleet builds. And then looking forward to all the Ahsoka sets that are coming out next month. I feel like next month's launch is going to be, way bigger, way big for everything, Star Wars and other themes like Disney 100 with the new camera coming out. That thing looks absolutely phenomenal. That'll be a day one purchase for me, irregardless of whatever promos they may have going on at the time. What about you? Is anybody out there going to pick up any Disney 100 sets as they come out? Anything on your radar that's coming up? Let me know. Interested to hear what you guys think. Targeting computer. There's so many coming out. It's really hard to keep track of them all, to be honest. So I get, not remembering them all. I look at the stuff all the time, and I can barely remember everything. All right, we come to our first two stickers of the evening. Yay, stickers. Yeah. It wouldn't be a Lego set without stickers. But unlike usually, we've got a lot less stickers. There's only 4 of them on this set. Makes it a lot easier. In the past, this one here alone had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just 11. Just looking at it real quick, there's 11 stickers on the 2013 X-Wing, and there's 4 on this one. So kudos to Lego for not making us do another 15 stickers on a $200+ Lego set. So much appreciated. All right, so we've got the beginnings of our fuselage put together. This is going to be the nose. Obviously, this is a cockpit here. We've got the stick, the controls, information. This will be the targeting computer that Luke can switch on and send back, and then pull out, and then completely ignore. So, moving on, there's 2 bag 2s. Hi, Andrew. Finally. Apologies, I've been a bit derelict in my streaming duties. Rubber bands. All right. Let's keep firing away. How's everybody doing? Thanks for joining. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Really helps the algorithm. Get me around to the rest of YouTube and other people's on the internet. But I appreciate you joining in. I know you have a lot of content that you can check out, and I appreciate you checking out mine. No. And Corey, I would never expect you to like anything that I do. How are you and Drew doing tonight? Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're just kind of chatting about some of the sets that came out today and some of the rumored sets that were being discussed. Brick Clicker put out a new video today. It was pretty good, kind of talking about some of the new sets coming out next year. So there's a lot of hype around that. That's pretty cool. Not sure if you heard about any of those or checked any of those out. And Corey, I just had a thought. Liking my videos could go a long way in NPS surveys. So just a thought. I'm not sure if you heard about it, Corey or Drew, but Bricklicker was saying that next year's UCS set in May is going to be a TIE Interceptor. We're going to do a remake of the 2000 TIE Interceptor. So that's kind of cool. If that's really a thing or not, or if it's just a rumor, then it's a good rumor. And if it's not, then well, it gives people hope. All right, so we're flying through. So right now we're working on the back section. This will be where the engines and the wings will all end up connecting in the center. Anybody doing their own builds out there? Anybody pick up any Lego sets that came out today? Anything that came out today that you're really looking to get? I was saying earlier, the Coruscant gunship looks really good. I saw images for it on Brothers Brick, so those should be up on the Lego website in probably the next day or so if it's not already. It's a little smaller than your standard gunship, but I like the way it looked as far as the color scheme. I think they did a good job coming up with something that just different enough that you can really army build with it if you want. Get a couple of them. I'm also glad they didn't kind of just re-release that Coruscant gunship that they released years ago. It's kind of a flaky set. It's popular now just because things that aren't popular when they come out, and there's not a lot of them left around. All of a sudden they become rare, and then they kind of do become popular. But I remember when that set came out, and I mean, couldn't give it away. Kind of like for anybody who doesn't remember, because it was so long ago, go look up the original Avatar, the Nickelodeon channel animated Avatar sets, Fire Ship, the Air Temple. Those two sets for Avatar, they didn't sell. Lego couldn't give them away. Heavily discounted to the point where it was like they're just fire sale, get rid of them. And now look at it; they're some of the hardest sets to get because it's a beloved series now, and everybody in some shape or form, wants those nostalgia sets for themselves. But getting Avatar Aang and Zuko, stuff like that, those were really cool. Seeing those in person, and owning one at one time, I owned the Air Temple. I got that for a trade. What was it, like 2010? I traded a 2010 Luke's Land Speeder for the Avatar Air Temple. So, guess you can say I got that for a song. To be honest, I don't know how much I remember building this UCS X-Wing. I'm trying to remember how much of it I remember because I obviously built it 10 years ago. And I, like most people, can barely remember what I did this morning, let alone 10 years ago. What's everybody having for dinner tonight? I did my best to try and convince my wife to do pizza after I get done streaming. And I don't think I'm winning that one. But I haven't given up. I'll wear her down. Skipped lunch today. Probably wasn't a good idea. Boom. All right. Hey, Loki. Cat's laying weirdly on his back in my doorway. Cats are strange. So far, the design for the X-Wing is very interesting. It's pretty cool so far. The mechanism is it's slides on here, so it's no friction. And this goes here. You build opposite end that we just did a minute ago. We're going to build down instead of building up on these. And they have a stopper built on, so they don't twist past. So we're working on part 1. Tonight. We'll do part 2 next Tuesday. So bags 1 through 5 tonight. So it'll be the fuselage, cockpit, and the black base stand. What we're going to be building tonight. And again, we're going to finish the set next week. So this will be, so essentially the wings will, it's got a frictionless just slide. Which is cool. On the older ones, they used to use the worm gear and stuff like that. So this one, they've got just a single turn with the spring. Actually, this one's a dual turn. So you got to keep turning it until the wings completely fold flat. And so this one's on another one of those. I think it's on the worm gear style. And that locks in. right here. Technic pin pins in right there. So once we get the resistors on, it looks like these red rubber bands would probably be the resistors to keep the wings closed. All right, so flip this around. Start locking the rest of the cross X bar in place. Don't go nowhere. There we go. All right, so that's now locked in place. So it's locked in with this strip here on this side, this one here on this side. It's all locked in with Technic pins. So that's all good. And then obviously these studs go out to the back. So if you aren't paying attention to that, you put it on backwards, that's going to be annoying to fix. Easy, but annoying. Okay. All right, and like I said, the resistance rubber bands, they're going to come into play up here at the top. You don't see a lot of sets with rubber bands anymore. That's what's going to give the wings their spring. Have to see how those hold up in time. Depending on the climate that you're in, the rubber bands may not, survive. Could be one of those things that just kind of gives up the ghost in time. You might have to replace them. So we'll have to keep an eye out for any kind of sagging from the wings. Take a look. I should have looked at the set that was on display at the Lego store today and seen how it's holding up. If it's having any problems. But if you've run into any problems like that, let me know in the comments. If you come up with a solution to that problem, also let me know in the comments. So that's why. Have you seen any issues with the wings, Corey? I think the one that was at my Lego store might have been built wrong. So, because I remember talking with the store manager there, and I think he told me that it might have been somebody might have built something wrong on it. So I can't remember exactly. So this is going to be the mechanism to open and close the wings. Just a little ratchet circle. So see how that goes. It's different. So on this one, the gear is on the back, in the back of the fuselage. This one, the gear is on top. So that's a bit different than what I'm used to from the past. Okay. So it might be hard to see on camera, but as you rotate the gear around, it kind of locks into the ball joint. It's going to be right here. Let's see if I can try and get that on camera. A little ball joint right there, that the black ball joint that it locked into. So when you turn gear all the way around, if you go, when you go, it kind of stops and the ball will set in the base of the Technic piece. So take it apart and show a little better. So this black Technic pin that the rubber band loops around, the bottom of this will kind of lock over it as it twists into place. So it's not just the rubber band that will hold the tension, which is nice because if you turn it and you lock it on that, then the wings will stay kind of locked into the bottom of the Lego piece. So shouldn't have any issues from time kind of making the wings sag. So that should be good. Lego, looks like Lego might have done their due diligence and their homework on that one, and seeing the pitfalls that could come from that rubber band. Cool. Yeah, so I think if there's going to be any issue with sagging over time, I think it's going to be when the wings are not folded, or when they're closed. They're like when they're closed like this. So any kind of weight like that, as you can see, it'll kind of pull the wings apart. So we'll have to see once we put the wings on how that looks as well, and if there's any kind of sagging issues. Hopefully not. They got the mechanism pretty well built in and locked in place with snot building. So that looks pretty good. I do like the quicker change for the wings to open and close compared to older versions like the 2013. All right, so we started putting the fuselage together, we got the cockpit, and then we got the nose, and we've got the gear turn. So you gotta turn it. You kind of see it pop backwards just when the wings pop just back. That's how you know that's in the final lock position. You don't need to go any farther than that. Stop. Yeah. That's pretty easy. All right, so let's fire up bag 3. So yeah, this is the 2013, and like I said, you've got that gear on the back that you turn, and the wings very slowly close. They do stay well together. It's never been an issue. But then you gotta crank that gear, getting it to open all the way. So I do think the new version is nicer, especially for a UCS. Some of the smaller models, they went away from that worm gear and they just went to a single turn where you're able to open and close the X foils rapidly. Excuse me. All right, so this looks like this is going to be the greebling for the top. You're tuning in late. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we're building the 2023 UCS X-Wing. This is part 1. It will be bags 1 through 5. And then we will complete the set next week on Tuesday. And that'll be bags 6 through 10. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for checking us out. Remember to subscribe and like if you want to. That way you're aware when we make videos and go online. And if you want to follow me over on Instagram at DarthBricks42, same as the YouTube channel. And where you can see upcoming videos. I can share information about sets that are coming up that I'm excited about, looking forward to. Using the ice skates as decoration, greebling on the X-Wing. Looks pretty good. You see, right? There's 2 of them here, 2 of them here. I like it when LEGO uses the the not so obvious pieces for accent pieces for I want to keep calling it decoration. I don't want to keep calling it greebling either. But when they use it to really come up with a definition of a set, like this is the video game controller. So I guess my X-Wing, my spaceship has a controller on it, video game controller. Fill in whatever joke you want. But back does come together quite nicely with all the detail. Okay, so that's going to be the back side here. So that becomes the back of the X-Wing. Saw one of the forums today. People were discussing, the possibility for the next UCS set next year, not the one coming up in October, but the one that's the one from May 4th next year. Like I was saying, I heard on YouTube from a guy I follow, Brick Clicker, that he was reporting that it's potentially going to be the UCS TIE Interceptor, which would be awesome. But another guy was, he was interested. He would be more interested in getting the like a UCS version of Jango Fett Slave 1 from Attack of the Clones. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that would be something that would be very popular? Do you think whatever name they want to call it, Jango Fett Starship, Fire Spray, whatever. What do you think? You think that would be something that would be really good? You think it'd be something cool? How many times when somebody came in to buy the set did they call it Slavel? It was a classic one when I was working at Lego that people would come in, and they'd ask about the Slavel set, and you're like, you mean Slave 1? And they'd look at you like you were nuts. Like, don't blame me. I didn't name the set. I didn't name the ship. That's Lucas. But it is still the name. Slavel. Slavel sounds like the Russian knockoff for the set. You can see the rest of the detail and greebling on the top of the X-Wing to go along with the back. So good detail work. It's another name that people used to call sets when they'd come in and ask for them. The Tantive 5. Tantive 5, I think it was. I'm trying to remember back a long time ago. I thought that was one that people would call it. This bag, we're working on a lot of the detail for the around the fuselage section of the ship. So we're starting to build the sections the panels that'll go around the side to cover up the fuselage. So far, they're not very complex, which can be good. Sometimes overly complex can be just annoying. Whole lot of 1x2 cheese slopes. All right, building onto these. Was tempted to buy more sets today, just because I'm not a patient person. Still like to pick up the UCS Hulkbuster, because there's a mod for it online on Rebrickable that it makes it look completely different to Lego's version, the Lego version they put out. Just ripped off the cockpit. Kind of fills in a lot of the gaps, takes care of the little bit of the flexibility. Seam lines line up pretty good on the fuselage. Here they just did a lot of like covering. I like this new version a little better. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. View on it. And then, surprise, surprise, could be the mirror image on the other side. Anybody working on anything out there in their collections? Anything you plan on buying? The Ahsoka sets look really good. Definitely like the Ghost. I never got the Ghost back in 16 when it came out. Never got that set. And, it's definitely a regret not picking that up. But I'll definitely pick up the newer version. It doesn't look too terribly different either. So it's outside of obviously the minifigures being different from one to the other. I don't think you're going to miss too terribly much. But maybe we'll get those extra cast figures in another set later on. They're just not spoiling everything right now, which is nice. It's a good thing and a bad thing about being a fan of Lego, or really of any toys, is if you're not careful, they can spoil a movie for you. Give away a MacGuffin, or give away a character, or give away something that's usually a little bit of a sneaked in thing, an extra or spoiler. So that always sucks. Or if they put on the soundtrack, Qui-Gon's funeral from episode 1. I know that happened to somebody I know. So definitely spoil if they put out too much information when it comes to trailers or soundtracks. Alright, so we are getting close to the next connection. So there's just a slight difference between this side, top and bottom, and then this side, top and bottom. A little bit of a difference. But it all comes out really nice looking, which is great. So build's going pretty quick, which can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. It depends on how you like your builds to go. Take a run back really quick, take a look, make sure I didn't miss anything, because there's a lot of small details all over this set. There. All right. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so we're moving on to bag 4. So this will be the bag that will complete the fuselage. A lot of parts in this bag. A lot of large parts, actually. All right. No hitter alert. I always feel like I always get those no hitter alerts on my phone. Like 90% of the time, it feels like it's a jinx. To change over to like check it out and you want to see it, and then guy loses it right as you turn it on. It's like the announcer jinx. The way you put that on upside down. Okay. So far, I'd say it's a pretty solid build. Haven't seen anything that I'm unhappy with. I'm curious to see how the rubber band style will hold up over time. I usually keep my X-Wing on when I keep it on display. This one, I mean. I usually keep it as you see it here with the wings open. So if it's an issue with the wings being closed and them kind of sagging a little bit, that's not really an issue for me. It might be an issue for some collectors out there. Depends on how they want to set it up. They may have multiple X-Wings set up on their workstation or on their shelves. I got one friend who always talks about hanging his sets from the ceiling. And sounds cool, but I got a ceiling fan. And I'd rather have my ceiling fan than worry about Lego set attached to the ceiling being moved by the ceiling fan wind. So I just don't go that route. It's not a bad route, just one that worked for me. I have tried hanging a set on a shelf, like with fishing line. It's hit or miss. It takes a lot of manipulation. It takes patience. And sometimes I really don't have any of that. But now that I got my shelf lighting set up, probably be a lot more patient setting up because it's easier to see. Like when I was doing it before, I was holding a flashlight, usually in my mouth, so I could see better. And that can be a pain in the butt. Real deterrent. To go back to talking more about some of the sets for next year, guy I was listening to online was speculating it doesn't sound like they're going to be doing. They may not be doing any more helmets series next year. So he was making it sound like, kind of implying that series may be paused. Weird. So I'm curious if that's a fact. I think the series has been very popular. Probably definitely has different ones that are and aren't more popular than others. But then it also comes down to, saturating the market a little bit. I think Lego's been keeping some of these sets out a little longer. Maybe they shortened up the runs a little bit, make a few more limited runs. But that's just the collector of me talking. I know Lego's a product that's designed usually mostly for children. So, yeah. And that's the reason why we see a land speeder every 2 or 3 years, or any of those core sets, because they got to put out the set for those new generations. So, as much as we the adults complain about another land speeder or another basic TIE fighter or another this or another that, they're not. We adults who are have Lego collections for 15, 20 years. They're not releasing those small sets for us. They're releasing those small sets for kids. It's like, we all talked about back in the day making bigger sets, making the sets bigger, 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 bigger. Now that they're bigger, we're just complaining about them being too big. Complain about them being too big. We complain about them being too expensive. What we think was going to happen when we took a $50 set and we made it thousands of pieces, it was like, well, now it's more expensive. Well, that's not fair. It's like, what did you expect was going to happen? One of these times I should do a team build. That's another, like a dual streamer on here. Find a streaming buddy. Anybody out there is interested in anything like that, maybe we can collaborate. Hit me up. Let me know what you're thinking. Hit me on a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is DarthBricks42. Be happy to chat with anybody who's interested in doing some stream building with me. It's very interesting. This will be the bottom. Maybe. Or it's just one of the sides. But the 2 pivot points here, connection points are here. And I think this piece is going to be held in like just with the gravity hold here at the end of the translucent rod. So those gravity holds on the UCSs, we're starting to see a lot more of those. Like all the panels for the, like all the top panels and for the Razor Crest were a lot that way. They just kind of hold in place. definitely, obviously, with the Millennium Falcon going all the way back to the one that came out in what 07, 08. That one had a lot of gravity hold panels on it as well. That was my concern when I was putting it on the. I put it on one of those display stands, so it can sit on its side, so it sits like this on a stand, a Technic stand. It looks like it's flying along the wall because the footprint on that thing is massive. But one of my concerns when I was doing that was, is this thing ever going to decide it's just going to have panels just start falling off? Because that would not be cool. All right, so I got this connected on. Just has two clip pieces that connect about right here and here, and then it's free flowing. And then as you can see, it's got that clear peg right here. The nose cones. When the nose cone goes on, it'll kind of hold the, and then this other piece right here. So these pieces will kind of be held in place, held in by like a gravity lock. It's pretty interesting. I think it'd be fascinating just to watch, like go and watch the development of a set through the trial and error processes, and watch what they come up with and what doesn't meet Lego's standard as far as staying together, because the set has got to follow through on a lot of. We got through the no-hitter. So no-hitter alert, and he threw it. Good job. So with the sets, and as they're producing them, or as they're making their prototypes, it's like watch all the steps that they go through to try and make them fail, or to try and get them to kind of follow through all the guidelines. It'd be cool just to see that. I like that would be kind of cool, maybe to see a little like a documentary style, where you kind of get to see, like, after the set comes out, of course. It would be years in the making, because Lego sets are years in the making. So, but to see like a documentary style where they start following like one of the UCS Star Wars sets, from concept conversations and design pitch, and then it's obviously assigned to the designer to come up with, and you get to kind of get the following from start to finish on it, and see all the trials and the pitfalls that they have to go through to make it so it gets approved. That might be kind of cool to be able to watch, or have as a almost like a podcast. Like when you buy the set, you get like an access to a channel or something to download from lego.com or whatever, and you can sit there, and as you're building your set, you can kind of watch this documentary about the set as it was designed, and as they came up with the concept, and some other things. I think that would be kind of neat. What are your thoughts? Do you think that would be interesting? Anything that would be fun? Like, I know they did some of that with the Lego podcasts, with some of the art sets. You can listen to a podcast while you were building the set. So what do you think? Do you think you'd be interested in watching a video made by Lego, kind of going through the whole design of the set that you are now putting together? Let me know what you think. If you think that would be cool, if you think I'm out of my mind, if you think I'm crazy, you're not too far off. I think I forgot a piece. I can double check real quick. Doesn't seem right. I want to actually check the actual book. $174. That's interesting. On my instructions, step 190 on my digital download, it shows the white outline of the whole. Like here, I'll show on this instruction booklet, but it shows this part and then it cuts off right here. And then the rest of this is just blank white on my digital download. So I can't see what the rest of the pieces look like. So I was busting out the book to make sure that was correct because I missed one part on here already. So I wanted to go back and make sure I got that fixed and just double check that because I usually don't have a problem with the digital instructions, but this time I did. So it'll happen occasionally. But back to the theory, would you guys be interested in seeing? This bothers me. So on step 218, no, not 218, sorry, 211, you used 2 of these pieces on the bottom for this wing, but on the other side, you only used 1, but they did give me 4. So I wonder if this instruction booklet is missing a step. It's not unheard of, happens occasionally. So we'll find out when we get to the end, and if we've got an extra piece, then it looks like we probably have to pop that back off and put it back on. Has anybody else seen that mistake or seen that error or heard about it in the books from anybody? Curious to know if you have. But yeah, it'd be fun to see a podcast of some kind like that, or I should say a video, like a little video documentary. You get the access code for when you buy the set. I'd like to know more about it. But I'm sure that there would have to be a lot of cautious on how you do filming. Obviously, you can't show much. Probably be a lot of trade secret issues. Lego's so tight-lipped because they don't want to get swooped to market by a competitor to release a similar style build or set or toy. But still be fun. Let's see something like that. Let's see some more documentary style pieces on our sets. It could be fun. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thing pinched my finger. There we go. You're just jumping on or joining us in the live stream or in the replay. Building the LEGO UCS X-Wing that came out this last May, 2023 version. Would be the third version of the UCS X-Wing that LEGO has released. It was really, one of the first UCS sets ever made, ever come up with. Kind of kicked the whole thing off. What was your first UCS set? Do you remember? What did you guys come up with? What's your oldest UCS set? I don't own the original UCS X-Wing. The oldest one I have is probably my Darth Maul that's right there. Probably my oldest UCS set. That and the UCS Yoda, which is down over there. You can kind of see his head right there. So probably my oldest. Yoda was my very first UCS ever. And I've only taken them apart a couple times for cleaning, but other than that, it's same old as when I got them. Got them from KB Toys way back in the day. Of course, way back then, we didn't have any LEGO stores where I lived. We didn't get our first LEGO store until 2008. There we go. See the nice angle on the fuselage. still thinking this damn thing. Still only shows one on even on step 206. See, it's just usually odd to not have it match from one side to the next. Cockpit looks like it sits a little funny. You can kind of see some gapping onto the back cornering here, and then it kind of sticks out a little far over the fuselage on that side. Got some, looks like some little gapping issues, like right here at the front. That looks like it doesn't really want to sit too flush. Doesn't even do it this guy. It follows all the lines. Just a little bit odd looking. A little oddity on the cockpit. But I think I'll take that oddity to having a sticker. But, you know, again, it would be nice if they came in bags, because I can see like reflection show scratches like all over the place. Yeah, might have to. It's another thing, you know, I've had to do it a couple times. Just contact Lego and tell them that my item is scratched and have them send me out a new one. They're good about sending out the replacements. It's just if they did the extra step in manufacturing, they wouldn't have to send out the replacements. Okay, so I see what. So this is going to be the nose piece that I'm putting together right this minute. And this is going to, I'll show you once I get done putting all the pieces on. All right, so these two Technic pins, and then you got these connector clear rods. So what they're going to do is the connector pins are going to go through these two, and then those clear rods are going to this gravity set inside this little box where the red piece opened up. So that'll be the nose. So So the nose cone's coming together. Have a little bit of a gap right there at the front. But I do like it better than this odd looking design that they came up with for this one. Just got these weird channels. So I think that might be an improvement. We'll see and compare here momentarily. Oh, all right. All right. Back on track. So that's the nose. White gets whitewashed out every single time by the camera. It's got a little groove track right there. All right, let's put this guy together. Right, so. Doesn't feel like it's going on like very tight, like it's not snug. It's got a slight gap. A slight gap right around the entire thing that you can kind of see all the way through on. Look into that more. All right, now we got bag 5. Bag 5 is the base stand and the Luke and R2 figure. this will wind us into the conclusion of our evening. I remember reading a lot of complaints about the minifigure on this one. They wish it had the visor on the helmet instead of printed on the head. Doesn't really matter to me. Seen both versions. Kind of feel like the helmet looks odd at times with the visor in it. Yeah, it's all personal preference. What you like, what you don't like. I think it makes the helmet look a little too chunky. So, but I'm sure there's people out there who like it that way. So far, so good. Almost got the top plate locked in. All right, so we got the foot base done. This will be where the minifigure goes. So we're gonna build with Technic rods or Technic pieces to build the solid framing. Hold up the X-Wing. I like the bases. I like that you can easily modify them if you want to or need to. So the set sits forward a little more or sits back a little more. You can kind of redesign them to kind of look the way you think they should look. You know, like this one, I stick a piece in behind it so it sits straight because it sits up on a higher shelf. So that way it doesn't look like sitting back so far. I've already modified it from its existing stance already. All right. So that is so far what we've got done for the UCS X-Wing. As you can see, it doesn't look like there's a lot of difference between the two. The new one definitely feels a little fragiler around the fuselage, like by touching. But the fuselage itself is definitely bigger on the new one, as you can see. And then I'll go ahead and get these stands out of the way. Pull the wings in again. So as you can see, they're definitely different as far as size. Fuselage is much chunkier, much bigger on the new one. The old one is very thin-nosed. So the fuselage parts itself, the nose is the biggest difference I can see between the two. Obviously, this one is much more narrow. This one's much bigger. But I think I like the new style better. It looks a little bigger. It looks a little beefier. I have to look at some of the other drawings and stuff like that. Like actually look at the X-Wing from the movie again to see how it looks. But I know from looking at the pictures, the engines are going to be much bigger on the new one than on the old one. These engines on this one, they're the same size as the standard X-Wing engine that we've been seeing on the LEGO X-Wing sets for years. And it felt like they didn't really pay that close attention to the engines. They built the X-Wing to scale that they, not minifigure scale, but to the scale they wanted, but didn't look at how the size of what the nose is bigger. Definitely need to double check that, make sure it's built right. The nose is bigger. The engines are appropriately sized from what I see from the photos. So we'll have to definitely see. I do like this one so far a little bit better as far as the coloring. I like how it's on the nose here. It's got some studs, but it's also got some tile, where this one is virtually all studs on top. I like how R2 is much more recessed into the top here of the fuselage, where on this one R2 kind of really sticks out on top, and like you see a lot more of them. We'll see more with how the rest of it goes together as far as the wings, the X-foils, and the weapons. So we'll see how that keeps going. But I thank you guys for checking us out. Like I said, this is part 1. Part 2 will be next week, and we'll go ahead and finish it off. We'll do the wings, and we'll do the comparisons with the other UCS X-Wing from 2013. We'll size it up to see how it looks with the UCS TIE Fighter, and then we'll also size it up to the mock UCS TIE Interceptor that I put together with the instructions I got from Rebrickable. This was originally a TIE Fighter with the instructions. It's the exact same cockpit, exact same stand, but you changed up all the pieces to make the nice wings. So this is hopefully what the new UCS TIE Interceptor will look like next year, if LEGO is indeed releasing that set. So next week we'll finish it all up and we'll do the comparisons. We'll see how everything looks together. And we'll go into more depth talking about the TIE Fighter, the Interceptor, the new X-Wing, and the old X-Wing. So until then, thank you guys very much. Build what you like. Have a good time. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again. Remember to like, subscribe, and we will see you next week. Have a good night, everybody.